are watching 32 teams in 32 days on the Game Time Sports Network.
It's a great day, sports world. Going to our third team the second team. Man, it's been a long day, people. Second team in the NFC South, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And this episode is made special for Jay Quimby. Quimby Strong, Jay Strong. Continue to fight the good fight, brother. So this show is dedicated to you. Amon, how you doing today, bro?
I'm doing all right, man. Been a long day, man. I know we supposed to get kicked off here about 30 minutes ago, but when you got two working fellas, get it in when you can, man.
So this team was 8-9, missed the playoffs for the first time in like 3 years. They made the playoffs 5 of the last 6 years, and got 61 total plays with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and Emeka Egbuka on the field together. Just 61. Did you know that would have led the league with 6.5 yards per play? That would have led the league, but instead the Rams and the Patriots led the league with 6.2. So they just didn't get enough of that share on the field together. So end of an era for my boy Mike Evans. And what a way to go out. I mean, just playing a handful of games in the single digits and just 368 yards to finish off your career in Tampa. Now he's over there in San Francisco, and hopefully he can stay healthy over there. But my man Todd Bowles is on the hot seat yet again, another year. His record as a head coach, 61-74. His record as a Bucks coach, 35-33. Of course, he was in the Jets as his first stint as head coach. And if you look at those numbers right there, especially on the defensive side, as a coordinator and a head coach, you can tell he liked to commit to the defensive run.
Brother, let me tell you, bro. You ain't run the ball on him. If you can do something, you gonna throw the ball, but you ain't gonna run the ball. I promise you that.
But wasn't Todd Bowles a safety?
Yes, he played on that not Commanders, but the Redskins team that won the Super Bowl in
it was the early 90s.
90. No, it was either the 88 team with Doug Williams or either it was the Joe Gibbs. One of those teams. He was a safety because I just watched the Super Bowl like 2 nights ago. And it said starting safety Todd Bowles. I was like, this is not Todd Bowles from Tampa. Yeah, I think it was the 88 team, I want to say, but I'm gonna Google, do some research right now. But yeah, man. Wow, man.
But you can see his numbers in the past 3 years in the secondary, 29th, 29th, and 27th. But then you see in the single digits in the run game, and even as a coordinator, good against the run. So if the heat is on with Todd Bowles, he's got to have some sort of success this year. What you think?
Yeah, man, the heat is on. Todd Bowles, we got to see something to get the Bucks in a consistent playoff window. 8-9. I think they lost the tie to the Panthers last year in the NFC South to miss the playoffs, man. But it's just inconsistent play, man. From the defense, secondary, of course. Mike Evans being out with injuries. Chris Godwin, he just can't stay healthy. Ibuka emerging, dealing with injuries. Just an inconsistent football team. So hopefully this year, you get your team right back on the right track. And now that this Baker Mayfield saga is looming over your head, I wonder how that will affect, how this will affect this team and Todd Bowles' future with the Buccaneers as their head coach.
Speaking of, it's time for Baker to prove it again. He has stopped all contract talks, negotiations. That was about a couple weeks ago before they even got into camp. And you see right there, 17 games, 8-9 record as him as a quarterback, which is the team record, but over 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns in search for a new contract, and I think he's going to play it safe. And he's going to play it smart and wait to the end of the year to get those talks back up again. Where if he does, this is a big proven year for him. If he does get this team into deep playoff situations, or possibly the last game of the year, he gonna command a lot of money. I mean, a lot of money.
What's a lot of money? Because anything is a lot of money. So what you thinking? Like top 10, top, top.
So, so who's the highest right now? Dak. I'm pretty sure Dak is what 60, 65.
I think Mahomes at 63.
Over. Who's the highest paid right now?
Mahomes at 63.
63. Okay, I don't see him going above that.
No.
Maybe if he gets to the Super Bowl, maybe not even that. So what's a good number for you? Maybe 50,
52.
52.
Absolutely. Bro, you're not paying him like you're going to pay Drake May. You're not paying him like you're going to pay Patrick Mahomes. You're not going to pay him like you're paying Josh Allen. He's not going to get Lamar money. He's not going to get Jalen Hurts money. Maybe Jalen Hurts. I don't know. Herbie money, no. So you telling me Baker's worth 60 something?
If Baker gets his team to the Super Bowl,
That's a big if.
and you know what his draft placement was, he was a first overall pick.
So Jamarcus Russell was first overall pick too. Got 50 million and looking at blank tapes. What we doing? What we doing? What we doing? But in all seriousness, though, I think you can get it. I don't think you can give him 60 plus. I just don't see that. So I think the appropriate range. I ain't trying to count nobody's pockets. If the Bucks give him 60 plus, congratulations to Baker Mayfield. But I say about 50 to 55. I think that's on par. Where's Jared Goff? Look up Jared Goff right quick. Hold on. Let me look it up right quick.
I don't know what Jared. You got it.
I'm pulling it up right now. And by the way, Todd Bowles played in that Super Bowl in '88. He was the starting safety for the Washington Redskins. That Doug Williams team. That's the team he played on. And then he won a Super Bowl with as a defensive coordinator with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Jared Goff, 53 a year. Okay, that's my ballpark. That makes more sense to me. 53, 50 to 55. I'm not. You can't do 60. If that's the case, I'll just walk away and draft me one. But I think Tampa is gonna get it done. Maybe on a short-term deal, maybe 3 years, get something done.
But remember, they were trying to do it too, and he didn't like that.
Yeah, it depends on how you structure the money, though. I mean, you give me 2 years.
I guess more guarantees coming into play.
Yeah, for sure.
That's basically what it is. Not the years, it's the guarantee.
Sure thing. That's always been it. Hey, bro, what that guarantee money gonna be like? I don't care. You give me $100 million and it says 60 guaranteed. I'm looking at the 2 years 60. I know I got 60 million coming regardless. We can work out the fluff, the fluff at some shape, form, or fashion. But yes, I think it is the guaranteed that's the sticking point for most of these players.
Quick question: did Vita he got 30 million? Was it fully guaranteed?
I want to say it was fully guaranteed. Jay Quimby, if you out there watching, brother, let us know. I think it was fully guaranteed on a 1 year extension, I believe. So this will probably be it after this year.
So Baker's weapons that he has: Emeka Ibuka, 127 targets, 63 catches, 938 yards, emerged on the scene. Will a new wide receiver one please stand up? And you see it right there. I wish I had some highlights on it, but another one of those Ohio State wide receivers. We just talked about one the other day, Garrett Wilson. This one flashed on the scene. Was it everything that you expected of when they drafted him?
I was kind of shocked, bro. I didn't see he was gonna be like this good this early, but it didn't.
Especially because he got off to a hot start.
He got off to a hot start, but these Ohio State receivers, I don't know if some in the water up there in Columbus. And shout out to Brian Hartline for getting a UAB job, I believe. He finally get to move up in the ranks, man. But I was shocked, bro. But then again, hey, it's Ohio State. And I know you got Emeka Ibuka up here, but there's a young gentleman by the name of Ted Hurst down there as well. Keep your eyes on him.
I think this Bucks team, while we looking at last year, I think this year is going to be one of the more talented teams because you look who they got at wide receiver. You already got a Tez Johnson that you know, kind of came on the scene. Ted Hurst, as you mentioned, uh, who's another Bucky Irvin. If that running game gets right, Bucky Irvin and my other guy. What's my other dude name?
Jaquan, no, McMillan,
No, I
receiver.
thought no, it's a running back. I thought I put this graphic up here, but evidently I don't. Uh, Kenneth Gainwell.
Oh,
Uh,
I didn't know he was in Tampa. I did not know that.
yeah, so that's gonna be a killer backfield. If I do say so myself. Both running backs you can use them out of the backfield and you can use them all over the field. Uh, but that's a 1-2 punch that I'm looking forward to. And then don't forget about Cade Otton at tight end as well. Chris Godwin, who can't seem to stay healthy, but
Can't depend on him to stay healthy, man. It's always an ankle or some low extremity, man. It always keep him out the lineup, man. So I don't know how much you can depend on him. With the Mike Evans gone, Mecca Gabuka gonna have to carry the load, man. They're gonna need a young Ted Hurst and a Ted Johnson that ain't but 120 pounds soaking wet to step up to the plate and deliver for this team.
yeah, and a Jalen McMillan, who
That's just, I said Jaquan McMillan, but Jalen McMillan.
you always think about the Broncos. What?
Boy, got me in the
uh,
chokehold right now.
but Jalen McMillan, who only played a handful of games last year, I think he was a little bit injured. So this offense altogether, 22.4 points per game. That was 18, over 340 yards per game with 21st, 10th on third down. So pretty good offense, but not efficient in the red zone, just at 23rd. But like I said, and we'll get into like the key additions and key departures and draft picks here in a minute. But I think this is going to be one talented team, especially on both sides of the ball. Here, key additions and key departures. The key additions are Ashawn Robinson, who had double-digit sacks last year in Detroit. Man, don't they miss him? Alex Anzalone, Kenneth Gainwell, Alkadon Muhammad as well. So, and key departures, you see it, Mike Evans and then Hassan Reddick, who was looking for a contract, a couple years ago, and now he only had 2.5 bags.
And can't get a job now.
He can't get a job now. Levante David, shout out to Levante David, 100 plus tackles in each of his in all years, but he played 14 years, so he had 12. He had 12 seasons of 100 plus tackles. So, uh, what he's going to be a legend. Well, he's a legend down there. Super Bowl champion, All Pro, Pro Bowler, all that good stuff. And as you see the other key departures right there. So, what key departure is going to hurt, and what addition is going to help?
Oh man, this is tough. The low hanging fruit would say Mike Evans, Jamel Dean, um, probably going up to he had New England now, right? No, he in Pittsburgh. He in Pittsburgh now.
Yeah,
He was a quality corner, but they drafted Keontae Scott to take their spot over. Mike Evans, of course, he's buck forever. He would be sorely missed, but you have to move on and change the guard, as some people will say. And key addition, man, I like Alex Anzalone from the Saints. Even from the Saints and from the Lions, one of the two teams.
both
Uh,
actually.
there you go. And I like the Kenneth Gainwell. We see him in Pittsburgh what he's able to do on a down in and down out basis. So I like Anzalone and Kenneth Gainwell, and probably Mike Evans and Jamel Dean for the key departures because they played so big roles in his football team last year. Even though Mike Evans was hurt, he only had 395 yards, but you've seen the effect with him not being on the field, how this team kind of like treaded on water, struggled a little bit.
I want to go the Levante David and the Jamel Dean direction because those two vets that's been on the team know the culture, as well as Rashad White, who's also been a part of that culture. The the production that you're going to be missing from him, and he's over at the Commanders now, but he's hurt currently. But I think the Levante David with that quarterback of the defense, and with the Jamel Dean, who's like I said, knowing the culture, but they're going on to other things. He's not the corner that he used to be like a couple years ago. Granted, like no other no corner is gonna be like that like they were a couple years ago, but I would say he's still playing at a high level, but not at the level that he was a couple years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Uh, and key additions, I'm gonna say I'm gonna go the Anzalone route because while you do lose David, you do get Anzalone, and then Ashawn Robinson, and then Alkadon Muhammad. Those key additions on the defensive line, which they're gonna need the most because if you look at that pass rush. Um, that pass rush had 38 sacks, 37 sacks, tied for 18, and they created the third most quarterback pressure. So you add those two on the line with a Yaya Diaby who led the team in sacks, with a Villa who's motivated, got his deal, and a Ruben Bain Jr. Mr. Short Arms. You seen tape, you know him pretty well. What do you think about his additions to this team and the potential of his pass rush?
man. Sometimes folks is too smart for their own good. Sometimes, man. Like, why would you just? I'm not saying you had to take him in top 5, but top 10. I would love to see him in Cincinnati. I would have loved to see him with a couple other teams. But he's one of the ones, man, that the motor just don't stop. He's got a big chip on his shoulder. He can bull rush you. He can push. He can walk you down, walk you back into the quarterback's lap. He put it on tape, these last couple years in Miami. So I'm really excited about him. The thing that scares me about this defensive line that after Vita Vea,
It's
your
really
your
nobody.
your yeah, your depth is like, and then there's no juice coming off the edge. Yaya, Diaby, yeah, he had 7 sacks. That's leading the team, but there's no juice coming off that side, man. So I think they could struggle getting to the quarterback. So I look for them to address that next offseason in the draft, man. But Ruben Baines, he's gonna have to play a big part this year as a rookie, and the hype is real and rightfully so, man. So yeah, man, it's going to be a struggle getting acclimated to the NFL game. But once he get his feet and his bearings under him, he's going to take off just like he did in college.
Also, other guys like Kalijah Cansey, who won another
Former
one,
first round pick as well,
first round pick, who only played a handful of games last season.
and he's
He,
undersized, so he's really not a true.
as well as Elijah Roberts going into his second year. So, I mean, could we see another productive end on that defensive side of the ball, defensive line?
Yeah, but to me, man, like I'm not trying to be Debbie Downer here, spoiler here with this man, but I just don't see the juice in this pass rushing unit, man. I just don't see it outside of Bain. Outside of Bain, Vita Vea, he's a
He gonna push a line.
yeah, he gonna push you back into the quarterback. But I don't trust that juice other side of Bane, man. I just don't see it, man. Kalijah Cansey, I don't see it. Yaya Diaby, I just don't see it, man. So I think that's probably gonna be a weak spot on this defense, man. But somebody has to emerge and for this defense to be the NFC South champion. But right now, I'm just not seeing it for me.
Uh, Yeah, Elijah Roberts, but he started 9 games, only produced 2 sacks. So it's not really saying that. But when he's going into another year, a second year, and then I'm trying to find Kalijah Cansey. Now, this is his third. He going into his fourth year. Remember, his second year, he had 7.5. I think that led the team. Might have led the team.
Mhm.
So, but I understand what you mean about the juice on the line. And I know health is asking a lot because they already been already missed a lot of time. So that's just something that remains to be seen. But at best, I mean, they could generate one of the best pass rushes if everybody is healthy.
I'm glad you see it, bro. I just don't see it. I just ain't got no faith outside of Bane, bro. And Vita, of course. But other than that, what we doing?
Even a good role player with Al Qadon. I mean, I know he's a
See.
role player, but I mean, he was.
Yeah, but you need that. You need juice. You need to get after these quarterbacks in the NFC and particularly the NFC South. Because you got a Tyler Shook that we're going to talk about here in a couple of days. He's an emerging. You got, a Bryce Young looking for a big bag. He got something to play, to play for. And then you got the two statues in Atlanta. So I mean, you might be able to get to them though, but you need guys who have the quarterback, man, that increases your chances of winning the game and choking the defense out.
The run defense, as we spoke on yards per game allowed, just they were fifth in that category, 14th in yards per pop. Pass defense, bad.
That's my point. Like, look at those passing yards. Look at that rating, man. Look at that. That's when you ain't got no juice to get out the quarter. Look at that, man.
Yeah.
Look at that. You got nobody generating no type of pass rush to give the corners a inkling of a chance to pass it to a receiver. That's rough right there.
Their offensive line, Tristan Wirfs, coming off of 12 games, 5.5 sacks allowed. Ben Bredesen, 1 sack, 11 games. Graham Barton, just 5 sacks. Cody Malk, 1 sack, 2 games. Luke Goodek, 11 games, 0 sacks, and they're replacing Dan Feeney and Michael Jordan at both guard spots. 38 sacks taken, that was tied for 16th, ninth in the most quarterback pressure. They used 10 different linemen due to the injuries. So maybe they got to get healthy in that spot as well and stay healthy.
Yeah,
So
man. It's this offensive line, man. This the least of their problems. You got two first rounders and worse. Worse is all pro. And you got Graham Barton, probably one of the young talented centers in this league. So I don't think the offensive line is, in bad shape at all. Maybe Luka Decky. Look, 0 sacks in 11 games. That's promising. And then you got Ben Bredesen, 1 sack in 11 games. So they were on pace to give up 3 sacks apiece. That's
yeah,
that's not bad at all, bro. The offensive line is not the issue for this team, man. Like QB pressures now. You 10 different linemen, 38 sacks. We don't see worse. So I like this offensive line, man. It's a good group.
man, if Wirfs can get back to his that form when he was
Ooh, when
that
Tom
early,
Brady was protecting
yeah,
Tom Brady,
yeah.
ooh,
If
that
he
was
can
a
get back to
that
that,
was a that was a bad man back in 2020, boy. Lord have mercy. And then
might
he dealt
help
with some injuries and stuff, man. We know what happens, man. You know how the game go. And then he transitioned from right to left tackle too. So
for sure. Draft picks:
my
Ruben
favorite,
Bain,
my favorite
uh,
part.
first, and then Josiah Trotter, linebacker out of Missouri. Man, I can't read. In the second round, third round, Ted Hurst. Fourth round, Keontae Scott, nice promising corner out of Miami. Two fifth-round picks in Damani Capehart out of Clemson, defensive tackle, and then Billy Schroer out of
Yep,
Notre
you
Dame,
got it.
offensive guard, and then a tight end in Bauer Sharp out of LSU in the sixth round. So what? I already know where you're going as far as spotlight on the draft picks. But is there anyone other than Ruben Bain? Which one are you looking at?
Yeah, 46, 84, and 116. Josiah Trotter, he got to come in, step in as a starter year one to replace big shoes of Levante David. Ted Hurst, they need some production from him. Big, I think he like 6'4" and some change. Big body receiver. Keontae Scott, we seen him in the college football playoff last year, and I seen him throughout the preseason, and he's just an excellent tackler. Tackler, always find the ball. He's always near the ball. He's gonna finish. He's gonna turn the ball over. So yeah, man. Outside of the low hanging fruit of Bane, I'm going 46, 84, and 116. I think all three of those guys are going to be day one starters come here in a couple weeks. And don't be surprised if all three of them play well, especially Keontae Scott. being a nickel cornerback out of Miami. Remember we had that pick six in the college football playoffs versus Ohio State. It was Ohio State. Yeah, it was Ohio State that kind
Yeah,
of like took the momentum and took the game away from Ohio State. Yeah, man, he's that type of guy, man. I think he's going to continue that level of play at the pro league, behind Todd Bowles and his good defense.
yeah. I think Keontae Scott could be one of those ones that that can transform this, help this secondary, this weak secondary, as we just showed in the graphic earlier. That pass defense is pretty bad. Uh, Ted Hurst, you thinking that? Oh, Ted Hurst and just Josiah Trotter, you thinking that they can make immediate impacts?
Absolutely, especially Josiah Trotter. I think you was high on Josiah coming out of Missouri during the draft. Like I think I heard you speak high on him a couple times. So,
Yeah, I watched
uh,
the film on it.
yeah, and I think Ted Hurst coming out of Georgia State, small school, got everybody attention in the draft process. And they, hope that he can come in and fill the role. Not say he can be Mike Evans, but play that type of role for this team for the next 12 years, like Mike Evans did, man. So, yeah, there's going to be immediate contributors right away. They have to be for this team because they can't afford to go 8-9 and Todd Bowles keep his job in 2026.
And that's why I say that the talent around it. I just gotta. We know we gotta see it first. But if Ted Hurst, did you see Ted making a play on Travis Hunter? I want to say.
Hmm.
So if you can get a lot of that, plus with a Buka, and then with a Cade Otton that you can use in the middle of the field and use it in helping in run game as well, and then with the two running backs, it could be something, man. This could
It
be something.
could be something, man, but you got to put it all together, man. You got to hope Baker plays well. Take the distraction of, hey, I didn't get my big bag in the off season. He said that he wasn't going to talk about it once the season started. The season's here now, so are we going to hear rumblings? Are the reporters down there in the Tampa Bay area? Are they going to keep asking the same questions? You know, hey, what do you feel about this? It's a whole lot of stuff that we don't get to see, behind the scenes that can play a lot into how, quarterback plays, how to affect his psyche. But like he said, if he can put it all behind him and focus on the season and worry about that in the offseason, which he has agents to represent him, we might get the best version of Baker Mayfield since that playoff run he had in Cleveland. Was it playoff?
Hell, he had that,
Yeah.
and he had a hell of a playoff run a couple years ago when they was
Yeah,
playing.
so when they knocked off Philly in the wild card round,
Yeah, and then they
yeah,
played
so
that game against the Lions that could have went either way.
could have went either way. Yep. So hopefully we get that version of Baker, and if we do, he'll be a buck. He'll be a buck for life.
And you know the reporters are asking them the same questions over and over. You know how Baker used to be back in the day,
Oh yeah. You back when
playing the flag in the middle of the field.
holding
Cussing
himself and
folks out.
stuff, flicking folks off from the sideline. Yeah, he ain't that Baker no more, man. But hopefully, it doesn't bother him, and he can have a good season and get what he's he signed a 3-year 100, and I think he's in his mind he's outplayed that contract. So let's go ahead and get something done now. You're on the wrong, not saying you're on the wrong side of 30, but you're in your 30s, 30-year-old plus age. How many more times you got to cash in? And I understand where he's coming from. So this probably be his last contract. You want to, take advantage of that and get the most out of that. So he has to do his part. And if he do his part, Jason Light and I can't. The Glazer family, they have to do their part and take care of him. So we'll see.
Let's get into the schedule. Week 1, you're at the Bengals. That's gonna be a tough one right there. Then you face the Browns, the Vikings, the Packers, the Cowboys on Thursday night. You got the Steelers, the Panthers, the Falcons, two back-to-back division matchups. The Panthers, the Bears on a Sunday night. You got the Lions, the Panthers on a Monday night. Then you finish with the Chargers, the Ravens, the Saints, the Falcons, the Rams, and then the Saints again. Uh, what's the toughest stretch on this schedule here?
Let me think. Let me think. I'm looking at Lions. Oh, wait a minute. No, let me not lie to you. Well, I can say Lions, Panthers, Chargers, Ravens. The 11 through 14. That might be a toughie. And then week 3 through 5 may be a toughie as well. So yeah, it's some tough stretches in here, but where are they at? They are at home for the first three of their 4 home games. So if they fare well, split 2 and 2, 3 and 1, I think they'll be in decent shape. Then I go to Dallas. They got to go to Carolina. They're gonna split with them. The Falcons in shambles right now, so I don't even know with all the weapons they got if they'll be able to compete this year in the NFC South with the quarterback situation. How you got somebody that's ain't played a preseason game in the quarterback room, but he's taking all the reps in practice. I don't know how that worked though, but so yeah,
Yeah.
man, I see three through five can be toughy, and then 11 through 14. And I wish they had the Broncos on here because that'll be a W. But first place schedule that's a different beast. So
Yeah, that bite. I think the Browns gonna be a lot tougher than what people think, especially on the defensive side of the ball. So I'm gonna say that even when you start with game one, two, three, four, five, six, and then those division matchups with seven. Atlanta, I think you're right about Atlanta, but I'm just gonna still give them credit because of a division opponent, and
so they going 0-8. Oh man, Jay, don't let
no,
Jay, don't let Jay. When you see this, hit Larry up. Just let him know. Tell him don't do your boys like that.
I mean, but right though, with division opponents, when
Yeah, they're gonna play you a lot tougher, man. The only team I don't believe in this division is the Falcons because it's a whole joke down there.
yeah, I mean, I don't know, but yeah, I mean, they are going through a lot, and then you got one of the defensive guys got like an 8-game suspension, so
And one of them out with the other
and one
first round
of them
pick
out for
out
this
tore
season.
ACL.
Yeah, I mean, it's still a little something on the offensive side of the ball, though.
They gotta stop somebody too. So
Yeah. So this is a nice little tough little schedule here. Um, I don't know exactly how many wins I'm seeing on here, but Baker got a lot to prove this year, man. He definitely
oh
do. As well as
yeah,
Todd Bowles. Todd Bowles gotta get that defense right, man.
I see about 8 wins, 8, 9, 8. I'm gonna say 9. Just because I like Baker, man, but I like Todd Bowles as a coach even more, especially on a defensive guy. Yeah, the wins and losses on his record may not reflect the type of coach he is, but listening to the Bucks press conferences, listen to the coaches talk, listen to the players talk, man. They're big Todd Bowles fans, man, and that resonates for me. Um, a long way. If the coaches, if the men that talk about you, go to war with you, believe in you, speak highly of you, that says a lot about you as a coach, man. Not as a coach, but as a man in general, and everybody in that organization that I've seen talk about him, nothing but rave reviews. So I'm rooting for Todd Bowles, man. Looks like I'm rooting for all the coaches out here that's on the hot seat that say they can't do it, but it's your time to prove them wrong.
What is it about Todd Bowles that's just like not people in the Bucks organization, but people on the outside, like national media, like they just don't like Todd Bowles? Maybe it's just
He
his
he he
old
don't he does
style.
he's old school. He doesn't have the rah-rah personality. He has come in with his lunchbox, coach you up, make you play great defense, and that's it. You don't get the and I don't want to use just you don't get the outlandish Rex Ryan's of the world or the coaches that's be in front of the microphone for a click or a sound bite. He just come in, tell you like it is, and he's gonna not do anything extra. You know what I mean? He can give you exactly what you need to know, and he's gonna go out there and let his players show their play on Sunday evening. So that's what I think because he's too quiet. He doesn't have that rah rah personality of a Harbaugh or John Harbaugh or something like that. I think that's why people really don't. He's not connected with people, but he's a damn good coach, man.
Kind of reminds you of, and I'm not comparing Belichick at all, but like that quiet, kind of stern,
That
kind of
no nonsense stoic look. Come in, do your job, go home.
yeah. I think that's probably the reason why. But I mean, look at his resume. I mean, he's a Super Bowl champion coordinator. So
He's a Super Bowl winner as a player and Super Bowl champion as a coordinator. So
yep.
he
So
done it all, skin on the wall.
yep.
But we know all stuff is not the playing field is not created equal in every organization. I'm just gonna leave it at that. But
For sure.
whether it's circumstances or just we're not gonna get into it, but it is what it is.
For sure. But yeah, is that it for the Bucks? I think we pretty much covered the whole landscape. You ain't mentioned Antoine Winfield. He had a Pro Bowl season last year. Still one of the best safeties in the league. And then we ain't touch too much on the secondary was Ian McCullum and all those guys, but they got some work to do.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but I think this is it, man. We back here tomorrow with Atlanta. And man, we gonna have a time with them.
Boy, got two teams in the South, Atlanta and Indianapolis. Boy, I'm gonna have a ball. Oh man, I might get kicked off Facebook tomorrow for this. Good boy. Oh boy, I won't be. I know some Falcons fans, boy. If they watch, boy, they gonna hate me, boy. They gonna hate me, boy. I'm here to tell it like it is. I ain't no sugarcoating it. Man, y'all got Mickey Mouse and Goofy and y'all daggone quarterback from right here. So I mean, oh boy, this gonna be a treat tomorrow, man. You got so much going on. You got folks out here getting arrested, folks out here tearing ACLs. You got There's a whole lot going on in Hotlanta right now, man. You got your third string quarterback look like the best quarterback in camp. Like, what is going on?
He
He might be the starter cup next Sunday or whatever Sunday they play, man. Like I don't know, man. It's a whole lot going on down there at Flowery Branch, man. But they do got weapons, man. They got a top 5 running back, a top 10 receiver.
Kyle
Pitts got a top 7, 8 tight end. Got 2 brothers at corner. That's a special treat in his own. You rarely get to see that 2 brothers playing in the same secondary. So, yeah, man, they got some offensive line not bad. You got a Jake Matthews that's been in the league for 12 years out of Texas A&M. Played with Johnny Manziel, Mike Evans. So you're getting a little long in too. So you might have to do something there after this year, prepared for the future, man. But yeah, they got some interesting stuff on this football team that we'll get into tomorrow, especially the quarterback position. That's gonna be a fun one.
Be back tomorrow. We got Atlanta. Everybody have a great night.